Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use abi.encode. So what is exactly abi.encode? In Solidity, the encode function is used to convert data into its own byte representation. This functionality is particularly essential when working with low-level operations, such as interacting with other contracts or encoding data for transactions. And within this code, I'm going to show you how abi.encode works. So let's jump into it. First thing first, I'm going to create SPDX license identifier, and then we're going to use MIT as the identifier, and then type pragma, only have. And then the version of the Solidity is caret 0.8.20 as the current version of Solidity. And then after that, first thing first, we are going to create interface, because we are going to call this function later, and then named it with IRC20 as the example of the token. IRC20, alright, and then type function, and then named the function with transfer. And then inside of this argument, we are going to create address double D, and then uint type external, and then semicolon, like that. Okay, after that, we are going to type contract, token as the name of the contract, and then type function, named the function with transfer as well, transfer, and then type rest, the same thing like interface, and that, alright, and then uint external, but at the end of the external, in the end of the token transfer function, instead of using semicolon, we are going to use curly braces like this. Alright, so after that, we are going to create the contract, and we are going to name it with abi.encode. And that in this contract is the contract that abi.encode works. So first thing first, we are going to create the test function as the low level function, as the low level of the code that we also are going to encode it later. And then type external, type curly braces, semicolon, like the test. So in this case, I'm going to teach you how to encode the test within 3 ways. And the first thing first is encode with signature. The pattern are going to still remains the same, external, and then curly braces. And then second is encode with selector, and then external, curly braces. And then the last thing is encode call, external, and then curly braces like this. So first thing first, we are going to create the test function, and then inside of the argument, we are going to type address, and the name of the address is underscore contract, and then bytes, call data, and then data. Alright, so boolean, okay, comma, and then spaces, and then this equals to underscore contract as the name of the function. The address, and then dot call inside of this parenthesis, type data, and then semicolon, and then after that, type the requirement. All right. Inside of this condition, we are going to type OK, and then comma, and then called failed. Okay. So here is the test. And then how to encode it. First, I'm going to teach you how to encode with signature. So inside of this argument of this encode, type a first, named it with 2, and then uint, named it with amount. All right. After external type Q, and then returns. Then we are going to return the value of bytes. Then we are going to store it onto memory. Then inside of this function, type return, and then abi dot the name of the function, and that is encode with signature. And then the argument, we are going to type the signature itself called returned, and then open up the parentheses, and then named it 2 without any spaces, comma, and then addressed, comma, and then uint 256, 2, and then comma, like this. So in this function, you cannot pass the inaccurate function. I'm gonna type the comment right over here. Cannot pass the inaccurate function. For example, if we delete 2 as the address, that it cannot doing it well. So yeah. And then the second encode is encode with selector, and then inside of this argument, type address 2, and then uint amount, and then after XML, type Q, returns, and then we're going to return the value of bytes, and then memory, and then we are going to return abi.encode with selector right over here, and then inside this argument, we are going to type erc 20 dot transfer dot selector, because we are going to select it, and then comma 2, and then amount. All right. So in this function, we can pass the inaccurate function. For example, I'm going to miss this, and then boom, you cannot pass. All right. So that's how the code works. All right. Last thing is I'm going to teach you how to encode call as the abi encode. And then inside of this argument, type address to uint amount, and then still stick after of your returns bytes memory, and then return abi.encode call right here, And then inside of this argument, type IPRC20 dot transfer without any selector, and then comma, open up new parenthesis, and inside of this type 2, comma, paste amount right here. And then we are going to compile it first and then try to deploy it. Okay, I'm about to show you the bug first. Okay, it is success, and then after we deploy the abi.encode contract, we are going to deploy token contract as well. All right. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, we are going to try some contract, and then for the address, we are going to use this address, and then for the amount, I'm going to type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing like encode with selector, and then signature. Call it. As you guys can see, the amount of return will sticks the same because yeah, the percent worked the same way. And then before we are going to test out the abi.encode, I'm going to copy and paste it first on the bytes. Don't forget about the coding codes. And then the address, we are going to use the token address that we already deployed it first. And then inside of this code, copy and paste the contract, and then transact. All right, it is success. And you can also see the detail over here. All right, so that's the wrap up.